we jump into now taking a look at the official visit weekend that SMU is going to have. And we talked last podcast about Jonathan Agamadu out of McKinney, who, depending on when you're listening to this, he's kicking off his official visit on Wednesday, from what he told me. And it's an SMU Oklahoma State battle with his top five of Memphis, North Texas, and Missouri. I like where SMU stands a lot with him. So we talked about him last podcast. He's kind of a tweener between outside linebacker, kind of rush end, and a true, inside linebacker thumper. But he's displayed the athleticism to be able to play that inside linebacker spot. So we're not going to spend too much time on him. We covered him last podcast, but this group that SMU is going to have on campus, and these are the guys we have confirmed right now. So maybe there's somebody who pops up late, but let's keep it with the offensive line. And Brent and Wade Helton are twin brothers who play out at Corona Centennial High School in California, and another high school that routinely produces talent at a high rate. And SMU is right in the mix here for both of them. They're getting the last official visit, I would imagine, before they both make decisions. They are fresh off an official visit to Iowa State. They were at Arizona State earlier this month, and they also have a couple other schools kind of kicking the tires on them as well, trying to bring them in. They are a package deal, so if SMU was to get them on board, they also visited Oregon State. But if SMU was to get them on board, that would be probably it on the offensive line. That'd give you four guys. That'd give you Wade Helton, who's an offensive tackle, about 6'5", 280. And that give you Brent Helton, another big body in the middle. I think that would really solidify things. I think SMU has the tackle positions down well for the future. You have PJ Williams, you have Sean Scott, and I feel like that group is going to really carry things. And you still have a couple guys on the roster that can also play it, that are still young enough that you're going to have depth behind those types of guys coming up. And then you can get a Wade Helton and really position yourself well to it when it comes to the long-term plan at offensive line. They are going to take their SMU official visit. So this is the lone non-Power 5 program that is in the mix for both Wade and Brent, but they really like Garen Justice, and it just goes back to his ability to get in the mix as far as being a strong recruiter, as far as piecing together the relationships necessary to be in the mix for prospects like this. I mean, this is not an easy recruiting battle. They are taking all their official visits outside the state of California, but you still maybe might expect them to either lean maybe towards an Arizona State or maybe even Iowa State. But SMU is doing a really nice job here recruiting them, and they're going to get that last shot. So we'll see how it plays out for them on that front. But that would complete the offensive line class, I would think, if they got both of those guys on board. So we'll kind of be monitoring those guys to see how it goes. As we flip over to the defensive side of the ball, which is the lion's share of where SMU is bringing in its guys. SMU has had one of their top targets make a commitment. I haven't confirmed that he's not going to take his SMU official visit now, but it's unlikely that I think you'd see him take that visit because he has made a decision. He has made a commitment, and that is Jaden Langley, who is the Fort Worth Boswell defensive lineman in the class of 2024, who committed to Arizona after his official visit this past weekend. This is a tough blow for SMU. They did have him as a guy they wanted to bring in for an official visit. They had him on campus for the spring game, but weren't able to, get over the hump there and get him on board. But Arizona wins out for Jaden Langley. So now, just like kind of last weekend was a little bit more offensive focused in a sense, especially with who they landed out of that group so far. This group is more defensive focused. And it is pretty much, yes, it is all in the secondary this weekend. So it is going to be very busy for this coaching staff as they get ready to really stake their claim to a lot of the top guys they have on their board when it comes to both the corner and the safety position. And we jump in with Alex Rogers, the Dallas Cedar Hill prospect who is set to officially visit this weekend. He plays corner at Cedar Hill. He's had some encouraging track times, but he's also on the smaller side. He is a more of a nickel prospect for SMU, and the Mustangs are looking to beat out Kansas State here for this one. He said that those are the two programs that have been recruiting him. Old SMU cornerback coach and defense coordinator Van Malone leading the way on that recruitment there. I feel like SMU is the team to beat here. I think they're going to keep him home. He is kind of a sleeper guy that could play nickel and will address that position long term, I would think. Maybe play some outside corner, maybe be able to handle that as well if he adds some mass to him. But the other one is a very well-known prospect for SMU fans, and that's William Speedy Nettles, who's on the verge of a 4-star grade, 4-on-3. He's got some really nice track times. He's played both ways. He does play small school ball, so it's a little sometimes, intriguing to evaluate him. He's a big guy. He's about 6'1". I think he's bigger than his listed 175 just from seeing him. He's really bulked up over the last year or so. But SMU is sky high on him. He's fresh off a Purdue visit, Nebraska. Those are the programs that are heavily in the mix for him. But SMU is looking to get him on board. And I talked about him as one of the must-land prospects in this class. And he still sits that way. He is really, really a key piece for Ricky Hunley and his plan at corner. And they've invested a lot of time recruiting him. So they need to come away with his commitment. In my opinion, it's just kind of one of those things that you'd like to see make a statement about when it comes to your recruiting prowess and what they're able to do. They are really pressing hard for Speedy Nettles. I even saw some of the coaches retweet his offer from back in the day. SMU was his first offer, and they retweeted it recently. So keeping SMU at the top of the mind there for him. Another prospect that's going to hit campus, and one that I have my expectations pretty low for, is Pflugerville Weiss safety Peyton Morgan. He's one of my favorite prospects in Texas this cycle. Really impressive frame, body, great kid. He's just on the outside of being a top 100 prospect for us at On3. But Texas Tech, I think, is the one really making waves here. He's still expected, as of now, it's only Tuesday, but he's expected to come in for his SMU official visit this weekend. But can SMU overcome Texas Tech? They battled and battled and battled to even get an official visit. That kind of just shows me that SMU, I think, is playing a little bit from behind here. And so you should expect the Red Raiders to land this type of a player. But SMU is going to get its last chance to swing away. And I think he would be a terrific land for SMU. So we'll see if this visit matriculates and happens, but SMU is going to take its swing at Peyton Morgan as well. They really worked that one well to even get him onto campus and allow him to hear them out and share what they have planned for him. Finally, Kadavian Dotson Walker, the Duncanville safety who we've talked a ton about, 4-star prospect. SMU's taken the On3 recruiting prediction machine lead with my prediction and Sam Spiegelman's prediction in for SMU to land the 6-foot, 185-pound safety. I think he's someone that can play nickel, can play free, would be another statement land in terms of being able to beat out some Power 5 programs, Oklahoma State being one of them, to land another Duncanville kid in this recruiting class, to get another one on the roster, I should say. And Kadavian Dotson Walker is a guy that, quite frankly, I could see making a decision before his senior season and maybe even soon after this official visit. So we'll kind of be monitoring him to see where his head is at following the visit. But he's made no secret. He's been high on SMU lately, and he's somebody that has really been able to, get around SMU, I think, even a little bit more than we know about. I think he's come through with his folks and family, and he knows, I think, where he wants to go. It's just a matter of SMU pushing it across the finish line with an official visit this weekend. So we'll be closely monitoring Kadavian Dotson Walker as well. That is it on the official visitors this weekend.